welcome to Gameography.
Wait, we're just starting?
Should we do an intro for our intro?
Yes.
Can I do the intro? Hi.
That's good. That's actually my original idea for the intro was to have us do that every intro.
You guys should just play the audio clip of that for every intro.
Of you just now doing it?
And then also when Mario says hello in N64 Mario.
Hello.
Yeah.
So far, this is good.
I'm not the host here.
Neither am I.
I didn't know if we were actually going or not.
We don't need a third test run.
I can't wait for Tim to have to edit all this again.
All right, this is already going to be fun.
Welcome to Gameography.
Welcome to Gameography.
I'm Devin.
And I'm Tim.
And
I'm Andy.
And welcome, Andy. Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Are we just gonna jump right into his anecdote, or are we talking?
Let's take it slow.
It's
Let's take
an
it slow.
outrageous anecdote.
Devin, where do you have to be right now? We have nowhere to be. Let's mosey our way on down the Utah highways to where we need to go. Golden sunsets and 5-minute long shots of us just driving.
Oh, that's a reference to the thing you watched?
Yeah.
It's a reference that no one will get because no one has seen this movie probably.
Yeah, I will say probably if you want to listen to this podcast, you should watch the movie first.
We were talking about The Wizard.
We
didn't mention that. I did say on a previous episode that it was on HBO Max.
Yeah,
it is no longer on HBO Max. So
We've
sorry.
been spreading false information.
Did you watch it on Amazon or something?
No, we had to rent it from Google Play.
Yeah.
I mean, you can rent it from a bunch of places, but
Yeah.
Devin used the money he earned from taking surveys, I imagine.
yeah.
Oh, I used to do that in high school.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
you still do that, Devin?
No, it's like it's just like I've had money for like from that
Just burning
in
a
there,
hole
like,
in your Google Pocket.
for like a year. I think I like just lost a bunch of it because it eventually expires and I never used it.
That's really weird.
Yeah. So
So yeah, if you want to watch The Wizard, you need to go on Google Play and take some surveys. I wouldn't, even though I did just say you should watch it, I wouldn't recommend watching that movie. Well,
it was kind of enjoyable.
yeah, no, I had a fun time.
Yeah, like it was not like. I mean, it is like boring, but kind of.
It is boring and bad and not fun to watch, but
no, it is kind of fun to watch. I mean, like you see like Christian Slater and Fred Savage.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I'd say if you have a pal like Devin, sit down with that pal and watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't
watch it by
movie
yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
But so you may notice a third voice here who did introduce himself. Andy happened to walk in during the last 3 minutes of the movie, so we thought we'd have him share his thoughts on what he saw.
I walked in and I watched them having fun watching this movie, which is fun.
Did it look like we were having a lot of fun?
Not really. It smelled like Mexican food.
We did have Mexican food.
Yeah.
And
It was
I feel like we were having fun at the.
You guys were having
at
fun.
the end there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I heard a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
And I saw that some people were playing Mario, and I immediately knew what this movie was. And
Yeah.
I think I heard somebody in the movie say wizard. Do they say wizard?
Yeah,
they say it a lot,
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
And it's never at a time that makes any sense to say it, pretty much.
Yeah. I just heard a guy in the crowd yell, wizard! And it conjured memories of internet movie and video game trivia that I know from my high school and college years.
Yeah.
And up until now, that I know from multiple YouTube channels.
You also, one of the first things you said was it made you think of Mac and Me, which I think I literally thought that on the first shot. I can't say exactly why, but
I mean, the first shot in particular does seem very Mac and Me because it's just like a little kid in like a big like desert.
yeah.
Which is what I think of when I think of Mac and
I only said Mac and Me once I saw him in a car just looking out the window.
Mac and Me came out the year before. So
Wow. Do you think this was directly inspired by Mac and Me? Okay, and also, when did Pee-wee's Big Adventure come out? Because the similarities between these three movies are notable, to say the least.
Mac and Me has 3%. Oh, wait, no, it's Metacritic. I don't know. I was going to say it has 3% less on Rotten Tomatoes, but
Wow, only 3%.
yeah, Peewee was 1985, so
Okay,
quite a
so,
bit
I mean,
before.
yeah, but still.
That makes sense.
I will say, although it looks like Mac and Me, my first thought was this looks like it was shot fairly well. But I think that's because the old filmy, like early 90s. Was it early 90s, this movie?
Late 80s.
Late 80s,
89, yeah.
I think movies especially looked good in those.
But that's also when Mac and Me came out. I do think it is like a better made movie than Mac and Me.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I think Mac and Me was shot very well too. That's why I'm comparing the two.
Like when that alien's breakdancing.
Or when he waddles across the desert like really fast.
Or when he like falls down the waterfall or whatever.
Oh yeah, in the wheelchair, right?
Doesn't he explodes too, right? Doesn't that happen? That or that's something we made up. Yeah, and then they were playing I don't know, spoilers, but they were playing Mario 3 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And some kid won and everybody cheered. And then
Including me and Tim.
I started making coffee and went to the bathroom. I won't say what I did in the bathroom, but I did go number 2. And then I came out and he was driving in the desert and I was like, okay, I don't want to see any more of this. And I went into my room.
Well, that was the
Oh,
end
wait,
of the
no,
movie.
sorry. I went to my room for a while before that and I came out and I said, is this the end of the movie? Or no, I said, how much longer? Because I thought this seemed like the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then the credits immediately roll.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
like 10 seconds later.
Devin called the last shot. He said, this is the last shot. And then the credits started rolling.
It was very impressive, yeah.
That's just, I'm kind of like the Lucas of calling last shots.
You make a lot of money in basketball betting. No, I jest though. I mean, it's looked like a good movie. Yeah, that's basically my impressions. And then I saw how tired you guys were after watching the movie, and I was like, this seems like it really took the wind out of your sails. But
I feel like you were projecting a little bit. I don't feel that
my
tired.
winds are not in my sails. So
Andy like basically passed out on the couch like a few minutes after that. Not passed out, but like laid down in classic Andy style with his legs like sticking far out,
Yeah.
barely supported by the couch.
And also, that is basically the state he's in right now. He's laying on my bed, leaning on one arm, drinking a cup of coffee.
In
And
a
he looks
suit.
like he could fall
I'll
asleep.
probably
Yeah, in
go
a
take
full
a nap.
suit, by
Yeah.
the way.
Which is how he sleeps, right?
Is that correct?
Do you get in a coffin as well?
yeah, I put a coat hanger on my jacket, my suit jacket, and then put myself in the closet. So, I mean, that's my impressions. Mario 3. Okay. Wait, have you guys talked about Mario 3 yet?
Yeah,
We
that
have,
was
but
the last
please
episode.
tell us about your thoughts.
That is a good game.
Did you or how have you played it?
I played it on my 3DS.
Okay.
And I got the
Nice.
ROM for free from Nintendo because I bought the 3DS before the price cut. And then they said in order to make up for the big price cut of like
Wow.
$100 they did, they gave you 20 free
That's
games.
why you had all those games?
Yeah.
Because it is famous to me that you just had that 3DS with like 100 ROMs on there.
Yeah. And I
Did
was
they
like,
call them ROMs?
yeah, it's a SD card.
They're like, they just send you a link to like ROM World or whatever.
However, the thing is, I guess to me, if Super Mario World exists, then I don't know why you would necessarily play 3.
Yeah.
You could say it the other way around, though, right?
You really could.
Yeah, I think
mean,
in
my
I think
experience, I played a little of Super Mario World, and I did not like it at all.
Wow.
I did not care
Tim
for
also did not beat Super Mario 3.
it. Yeah.
That's pretty long.
And I've pretty
game.
much said that I didn't like any of the Mario games so far, so...
I think Mario 1. Well, okay, of the like mainline Mario games until it went all 3D and stuff. I guess like the 2D Mario games. I think Mario 1's just my favorite because I've beaten it.
No.
It's really fun.
No, it is really fun.
Yeah.
But it's not the best.
It's probably not the best.
Like
Yeah.
It's the one I played the most, definitely.
yeah, that's interesting. Did you have that on your 3DS too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
honestly, I'll say I had the most fun playing the first one, too. Even though the third is obviously kind of like
Tim
superior.
No,
but-
Tim said he had the most fun playing the Lost Levels.
Oh, that's true, actually.
The
That is weird.
unreleased like it was like
Basi-
only released in Japan
Yeah.
because it was too hard.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one was really fun.
But how?
Though I played like 3 levels. of it,
But Tim, this is what like it blows my mind is that the reason Tim doesn't like the 2D Mario games is because he says they're too hard. But
No, I don't say they're too hard. I say that I'm so bad at them that they're too hard to enjoy.
But then you liked the
But then you
hardest
like the one that's
Yeah.
like known as like too hard for people who even like.
Yeah, because they're all impossible for me to play successfully. So the number 2 at least is like
You can't blame yourself.
yeah.
I understand.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I have nothing else to say about it. Wait. Can I say my favorite Miyamoto game?
Sure.
What games has he made? What are we talking about?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
I was thinking about how
Have
fun...
you not been listening to the episodes of this podcast?
Yeah, I have been.
Is your favorite Donkey Kong 3?
I was going to say, I agree with you guys that Donkey Kong Jr. is really fun. Although, then
Yeah.
you said, Devin, that you thought that you should be able to jump from vine to vine, and I completely agree.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
And if somebody wants to make a hack for that, one of the fans wants to make a hack for that, then that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about Mario Kart Double Dash, how fun that game is. I don't even know if you reduced that game because it's kind of late
He probably
stage Miyamoto.
didn't, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
He probably
But he did produce at least like the 64 one.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
which is also a really fun game.
Yeah.
We should play Double Dash though and talk about it.
Is Double Dash GameCube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Zelda is really fun. Zelda 1's great. Now I'll just name every Miyamoto game because they are all fun. So at the very least, like they're still playable.
Yeah.
And if you really get into them, then they're very playable.
Yeah.
So-
That is the thing with like Miyamoto's game, like old games versus other old games is like, they're not like, I would want to play these all the time, but it's like compared to other games from that time,
Yeah.
they're like actually still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not just like,
because if you had like
this is
an
dumb.
NES,
Yeah.
like if you had an Atari 2600 or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
it would just be like, this sucks. I'm never gonna play video games again. But if you had an NES, you would sit down and play every once in a while, and just be like, I'm just gonna play like some Mario because
Yeah.
they're still fun.
I mean, Zelda, when we played it, that's like probably the last game in any like retro or otherwise that I've just gotten fully sucked into.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that game is
it sucked me in
insanely good.
the same way like Breath of Wild would or something.
I guess this is his best game. Is the first Zelda game basically.
I think there's an argument for that.
Did he do the Super Nintendo Zelda one? Link to the
he
World?
did not direct it, but he produced it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
He was already basically not directing games by that time.
yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we're at the next one is going to be Star Fox.
Which he
is-
also didn't direct, but
Yeah, and it's like Star Fox on the SNES, and like
Yeah.
that's basically the end of him like actually.
well,
directing
Mario
them.
64 is the last,
Oh yeah, you're
pretty
right. Yeah,
much
yeah,
the last one that he like actually directed. But yeah, he like didn't direct anything for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
He just like produced like everything,
Yeah.
like every Nintendo game basically that came out for it.
I mean, basically, from that point on, it's like he's like kind of mildly involved with all the mainline ones, right?
Yeah,
But not really.
he's just like supervising everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
My last input is you guys should cover John Romero's games, who made like Doom and probably one other. He made
Yeah.
Daikatana and
yeah.
I think he also did Quake. And then he recently released a game.
And
Or
isn't
it's
it
being
really
released.
bad?
Is it the like Chicago gangster one?
Yeah, I heard that was really bad.
Dang it! I was kind of the thing is all of his games I think are really bad except for like Doom and Quake. But I also really like him
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's a really big nerd who thinks he's cool.
I love turns.
So
yeah. Tim is famously anti PC games though, so it'd be kind of hard to
he
convince
is
him.
yeah. We don't need to get
I'm not
into it.
famous for that.
What are you famous for, Tim? Anything?
I have nothing to say to you.
So, well, you guys have fun.
Round of applause for Andy.
Thank you for coming on, Andy.
Can you edit in people clapping?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but this is what you're hearing right now is edited in.
Woo!
Need anything else?
That's good. Thank you.
You gotta get a clean sound of the door shutting.
That was really good. This is like an audio play. Da-da-da.
So we're keeping that, right? As like the interstitial. Like, should I just press play on the movie and
Yeah, honestly, sure.
we'll just have that underneath ourselves the whole time?
They make it better.
So we were talking about the 1989. What is it's called on Wikipedia as an American family film.
Air quotes family.
Those
Air quotes film.
Directed by Todd Holland.
Oh, I didn't even think to look at that.
Written by David Chisholm, starring Fred Savage, Christian Slater, Jenny Lewis.
What can only be described as a star-studded cast, a Mario star-studded cast.
And wait, so yeah, Jenny Lewis, who you may know from the indie rock band Rilo Kiley.
Rilo Ken. That would have been a better name for it. Also, I mean, should we just say all the stars in it?
Bo Bridges.
Spanky. We got Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man.
In full Spider-Man costume.
In full Spider-Man costume, nonetheless. And Dwight's babysitter from the dinner party episode of The Office. Mm-hmm. Was there anyone else who was like that, like an extra that we just kind of recognized?
I feel like there was a lot of people that we like vaguely recognized.
Yeah. There might have just been a lot of people that were just kind of like, had
just like small time actors and like from that who you'd seen.
Honestly, I bet a lot of them were just people we had seen in similarly small roles of other films.
Yeah. But those kind of like cult classic films that are like we've all seen them, so it's like but no one knows who these people are.
Yeah.
Okay, one other thing when Andy's already gone, but when he came and he saw the last shot, he was like, "This is like Twin Peaks." At the end.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Todd Holland directed 2 episodes of Twin Peaks.
What?
Yes, the director of the Wizard directed 2 episodes of Twin Peaks. I think he directed. I was looking at which ones. I think one of the ones he directed is the one where it reveals that Leland killed Laura Palmer.
Oh my god! Wait, like that really big episode?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Or it might be like I just looked at like the IMDb description, so it could be like the viewer, like we find out, but it hasn't like really been like revealed yet.
Should we be worried that you just spoiled a huge plot point from Twin Peaks?
From a 30-year-old TV show.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I've always had a problem with people saying that with a 30. You know what? Can we just take a second and talk about this? Because regardless of when a show or a movie came out, it's like I still haven't seen it yet.
Me specifically, I still have not seen it.
I don't care when it came out.
All right. Tim, you have to edit in a spoiler warning now.
Because I haven't seen it.
Also, this is the backdoor pilot to our Twin Peaks podcast that we're starting.
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about other podcasts that we should start, including...
because we're doing such a good job on this one.
This one has so much good content, it's overflowing into whole other podcasts.
And it's so easy, and it's not taking any of our time to do.
Oh boy, yeah.
So here's a basic plot summary of the movie. From Wikipedia, the film follows 3 children as they travel to California to compete in a speedrunning video game tournament. I don't know. That's not true.
Yeah,
it's not a speedrunning thing. No. The youngest of the 3 is emotionally withdrawn with a gift for playing video games.
I'm going to say, like, I'm diagnosing him as having autism. Like, it's so clear. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that that's not mentioned anywhere in the description of the movie, because it's like...
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they never really like say anything specific in the movie itself.
Yeah. They really don't even say that he has like a disability necessarily, just that he's like
he's just like
traumatized. They say traumatized.
Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing they didn't really understand what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, like the movie was I think it was like known as like Rain Man came out.
Oh, okay.
Pretty like maybe a year or 2 before this, and like people were like, okay, they just copied this from Rain Man.
Oh, really?
Which I haven't seen, but I mean, obviously that's about like
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We'll be jumping ahead of ourselves a little bit, but the movie was like it was like pitched basically by like an executive at Universal as like they wanted to make like a video game version of Tommy, like the Who movie. Like the musical.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Where like that in that movie, it's like a it's like similar, but with like pinball, where he like
really? Okay. I've never seen that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw it when I was like a child, and it scarred me because there's like some really scary stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
There's like, because like unlike in this movie where they don't show you the traumatic event, like in that movie they like, I don't even remember what it is. I don't know if it's like somebody like breaks into like their house and like kills his parents in front of him.
Whoa,
It's like something
Jeez.
crazy like that. And
that's
like,
intense for a young Devin.
Yeah. And then there's like another early scene is like he gets like caught up in with these like druggies or something like that, and like
druggies,
for some reason there's an Iron Maiden.
Okay.
That I don't.
This sounds like a very scary movie.
Yeah, like honestly, I could see myself like misremembering this, and none of that's actually in it. But like, I feel like that was like the first time I had ever seen like an Iron Maiden. I was just like, what is?
I
this
don't think I've still today seen an Iron Maiden.
Yeah, you haven't just like
gone
to the Home Depot and looked at the
antique shop, stumble into one. No, don't close it.
But the movie is known for its extensive product placement of Nintendo.
Well,
and also other things, like what we find out.
I'd say borderline more other things than Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, like once you get to the second half, it's very Nintendo, but like there's no Nintendo in like the first like 40 minutes. Like they don't even like mention it.
Yeah, I mean, and the Nintendo is by far the most subtle of it all. Where it's like,
I guess.
I mean, because it's like you just see those giant logos everywhere for Hostess, and he just drops Dairy Queen in the conversation in a way that's completely natural. But then it's like, they're in the late 80s and they're going to a video game contest. Like, you're going to see Nintendo.
Yeah, and they don't like say Nintendo a lot.
Yeah, they're not like going to the Nintendo. You
see
contest.
Like the NES, and you see like some NES games.
Yeah.
And like they say those games names, but they aren't like the Nintendo Super Mario Bros. They're just like Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, it's weirdly like believable the way that they talk about video games and the way that they play them, and like he has the NES with him.
Yeah,
where he doesn't ever identify it. Like it's kind of it's weirdly subtle.
That probably speaks to just like how Nintendo was like such the like top dog. That like of course it's Nintendo. Like who else would they wouldn't be playing other video games?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Because like this is something we talked about in our last episode with the in Mario 3, but I feel like we can't stress enough how like just on top of the world Nintendo was at this point.
Yeah.
Or like I feel like this like the lead up like that this movie is part of the release of Super Mario Bros. 3 and then all of that I feel like is like Nintendo at their like absolute peak. Like they still have not gone back to that. I feel like
if this movie is any indication of what life was like in the late 80s, all that anyone ever did was play Nintendo or talk about Nintendo.
Well, and also like they really did not have like obviously Nintendo was great and there was a lot of like great games for it, but like they really also just didn't have competition. Yeah, it's like
definitely nothing on the same level as these games coming out.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, because wasn't Mario 3 was just so hyped at the time, right? In a way where, like, I don't know, Sonic maybe could have competed or something, but I don't think it.
But really Sonic didn't exist yet.
Oh, it didn't?
I don't think so.
When did that come out?
I think Sonic came out in 1991.
Really?
Sonic.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, because like the Genesis is like alongside the Super Nintendo in terms of like when they came out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So like.
Wow. So then, so literally at this point, there was no other like video game franchise or like character that was anywhere near as known as Mario.
Yeah.
And Nintendo.
Okay, I looked up Sonic release date and it's the Sonic movie.
Well, that's good to know.
We've already talked about the Sonic movie on this podcast.
Did we?
It might have actually got cut.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Didn't make the
1991. Cut. October 1991 is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hi. I'm Haley. If you don't tell me what you're doing, I'm going to scream.
Could you swim quietly?
What, do you think I'm stupid? I saw you look at that cop.
Okay, let's talk about the production of The Wizard. So we talked about this before, but because of that ROM chip shortage that was going on just in the world, that's why Mario Bros. 3 and Zelda 2 were both delayed in the United States. And I was actually reading about this in Game Over, which is a book released in the 90s about like the rise of Nintendo.
Has that book been good so far?
It's good. Yeah. It's very focused on like the business aspect of Nintendo. So like if you're interested in that, like it definitely seems like it was part of like that whole, like people were obsessed with like Japanese business because Japanese companies were so successful at the time.
Yeah, and they had a pretty the distinctive kind of Japanese business culture that we know now. That I assume that started around this time, right? Or like was going on at this time, not necessarily started.
Right. Yeah, and then specifically with like the video games industry. I mean, yeah, like you even talked about it, I think, in one of our first episodes. Like it still seems like a very Japanese like business, and it is insane. Just like because like how we talked about, it goes into a lot of detail of like. As far as like the American Nintendo branch was like run by the president of Nintendo's son-in-law.
Oh yeah,
like that whole thing. And then there's like also it was like a lot of similar stuff happened with other Japanese companies that like started American like subsidiaries or whatever, where like they would just send like a Japanese like guy basically, and then. Yeah, it's just very interesting. Like,
oh wow,
that they.
I think I said this exact same thing in that first movie or that first episode, but like we need a movie about this. This is such a good premise for a movie.
Yeah.
Having just watched a movie that didn't need to be made.
Yeah,
like this is a story that needs to be told. This could have promoted.
Honestly,
Mario.
yeah, like the lead up to like them becoming successful would make a really good movie, especially because like it's like this whole like thing of like, first of all, the Nintendo like president. Didn't want this guy to marry his daughter.
Oh yeah,
because like they were like not like a prestigious family or something like that.
Okay, here's a movie. Here's a pitch. Two podcasters are diving into this story, and then something else happens in the movie. That's my whole pitch.
What?
It's like this story. It's like Julie and Julia, where we're Julie and they're Julia, and there's some correlation between our story and theirs.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. So it's like we're like telling the story of like their story.
It's like as we learn about this story and we're researching it. Yeah. It cuts away to like
I
Japan,
marry your daughter.
1980. Yes, perfect. You marry my daughter. And I don't want you to.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want you to marry my daughter.
Yeah, so what was it? What did I go into that whole thing?
I don't know.
But what? Okay, so I was reading about that ROM shortage, and it's actually really crazy because Nintendo's deal was that they would be they were the only ones who could make Nintendo games. Yeah. Like other companies would like pay them to manufacture the cartridges, and they said that like they couldn't meet demand because of the shortage, and like companies were like accusing them of like doing it on purpose and stuff and like sabotaging them and stuff, and they were like no and
no
but it is like maybe a little unclear because like they said like if you find like if you can get your own computer parts and like get like sell them to, or like give us a supply, then like we'll do it. But they wouldn't use anything manufactured outside of Japan.
Oh,
because
weird.
They said it like what they said was that it was like inferior quality than like the ones that they wanted to use.
Yeah.
But like they were getting like I don't know if they might have got sued by like some people, but like people were like very angry because
I imagine. Yeah.
Like at the time, like companies were making like millions of dollars.
Yeah. Just
from selling Nintendo games, obviously. So that is the background to this weird movie.
Doesn't really explain this movie's existence, but
no, I mean, I think they just like, I think that this executive at Universal just wanted to make this like movie, and then like the way they probably got Nintendo to like get on board was like we'll show like Super Mario Bros. 3 and like we'll show like the games you want us to show, basically.
Yeah. And well, because something interesting to me is that you had framed this movie to me as it being a giant ad for Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think it seemed way more to me like it was a movie where Super Mario 3 was an ad for the movie. Where it's like people were going to watch this movie because they saw Mario 3 in the trailer, not the other way around.
Yeah.
It's
it works both ways, right?
Yeah,
like
truly, yeah.
Yeah, like definitely no one would have gone and seen this movie if it didn't have Super Mario Bros. 3 in it. But like
and definitely they must have known, and like you were saying, maybe it was somewhat on purpose, this hype that they were building it for Mario 3. It's like they're like, oh well, if we have it as the big reveal at the end of this movie, like that's only going to add to the effect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it like all the other games are like shown on like normal small screens, but then Mario 3 like comes with this giant thing comes apart, like
this giant crazy sci-fi video screen,
but like also like clearly like cardboard kind of looking, and then it's like 3 giant screens that have Super Mario Bros. 3 on them.
That's funny. Yeah.
I also love about that scene is like then you hear the Super Mario Bros. 3 music.
And it's so underwhelming. It's like not matching the tone at all.
Well, there's that, but then it's like then they start to fade it down and then just play their own music over it, and so both like the soundtracks are like playing on top of each other for a while. It's like I feel like you should have just kept the Super Mario Bros. Like the music is not good in this movie.
Yeah, it definitely.
I feel like it honestly took away from. Like it made it worse a lot of times.
Oh yeah, well, in a sense, it made it better because it was so bad that it was hilarious. This movie, the first note I wrote is that it opens with this shot of the main character Jimmy walking slowly towards the camera from far away, and it's playing this song that is so clearly a really bad YouTube ripoff song by a band called the Bodines, which I don't believe is like a known band. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't care if you did like me. Your attitude sucks.
Where to begin? I feel like the first like 20 to 30 minutes of this movie are just like kind of bewildering.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of like not a lot of things, but like things happen, but it's like I have no idea, like what is happening. Like
they don't explain much, and they don't give you a reason really to care about any of these characters.
Yeah, they don't really like introduce the characters so much. It's just like they're just suddenly doing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then that first scene that you mentioned where he's just walking along the highway, the best part is like a plane. They send a plane to go find him.
Yeah.
And it's like flying like literally like 10 feet above the ground. It's like so insane. And it like looks like it's about to crash. Like, a couple
really,
of times.
it's very shaky.
Yeah. It's like you're really not supposed to be flying that low. It's like no one told them that though.
Yeah, and they also just the fact they send a whole plane and a police car to find this kid walking on this really lonely Utah highway.
It's like a lunch box that he's carrying throughout the entire movie.
Oh yeah, but then the fact that they don't explain anything is also unfortunate because it's such a weird family or whatever, where it's like these 2 boys are half brothers with this other boy, and then there's like a lawyer who I only at the very end realized is like theoretically married to the woman who is the mother of the main kid.
Yeah.
And they just don't really explain any of this.
So I think the reason for this is there was an interview when they released the Blu-ray of this, like the anniversary Blu-ray.
Wow.
There's an interview with the director where he said he had issues with the final script. He said that he was arguing with the studio that they were shooting too much and they were shooting more than they could ever use. And apparently there's like another like hour worth of footage.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
And I think a lot of it was like stuff around that beginning. Like it says, like most of the deleted footage comes from the original cut of the opening act, which explores Corey's home life in more detail, including deliberately antagonizing his older brother, his mother's emotional issues surrounding Jimmy, and her divide from her former family. Nick's alcoholism. Wait, what?
Is that Bo Bridges?
I guess.
I'd have to assume so. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Nick's alcoholism is also explored in more detail, as well as additional clips. More detail? I feel like that's not...
It's not even referenced.
At all in the movie, yeah. As well as additional trips from the road trip scenes.
More road trip scenes?
Trucker Spanky gets more screen time.
Oh my god!
In the deleted scenes.
Spanky. How could they have cut anything with Spanky in it? He's such a show stealer.
Yeah, he's
so clear.
The best character. So yeah, I feel like they probably like this like executive saw it and were like, this is like really boring.
Yeah, we really need to
like
cut this
this
down.
is a kids movie. Like it. Like the problem is like it's so complicated. Like they made it so complicated that like it's like this kid who's like the main character is like half brothers with like the other main character, and like, but again they never really explain it.
And there's so many different like groups of people that where it's like you don't. It's like I don't care about any of these people except for the three main kids. I don't really care about them. But
but at least with them you like understand like kind of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's like all of the adults are just like they're just like adults.
Yeah,
they have no character.
Bo Bridges and Christian Slater, who are the father son, they have no point in this movie other than kind of like getting in the way of the bounty hunter.
Yeah,
and I guess who is more than they're all looking for the kids, but it's just.
Yeah, like
you don't need them in the movie hardly, other than as a presence hunting the kids.
I think what they're trying to do with them is like, but again, they don't set it up, so it doesn't really work. Is like that the dad doesn't understand video games, and like, but they don't set that up in the beginning, so it doesn't really work. Because like later,
it's very anticlimactic later, like when he becomes obsessed with video games.
Yeah,
it almost doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like he just likes them, and that's it. He never like if it would have been like him talking to his son like you have to stop playing these games, and then later he's like, I mean it would have been like cheesy and dumb, but it would have at least like made all those scenes make sense as to why they exist.
The scene where he starts playing video games is where him and Christian Slater, his older son, Christian Slater's trying to like bond with him, and there's a really long shot of Bo Bridges just staring off into the distance that like you said in the movie could have been good comedy if it was intentional. But
like,
so then
there is a good scene there about like a father and son who can't connect.
Well, but then Christian Slater becomes Tommy Wiseau, and he's like, "Why can't my father even talk to me?" And he just walks out of the hotel in his underwear. It's very weird.
And grabs the Nintendo.
Yeah. And then he wakes up, and the dad has been playing it all night, and it's just like, wow. And it's like they didn't even have a stupid cheesy like emotional wrap up to this stupid cheesy scene. It's just like
there's just no point.
It's like, what?
I don't think it's an issue that like they had to cut stuff. I don't think there is a world where this was like a decent movie.
It would have made a little more sense, but it still would have been very.
It probably could have. Yeah, it probably could have worked a little bit better, but
then imagine
it would have been
longer.
longer.
Imagine having to sit through an hour more of that movie. It already took us 4 hours to watch.
Exactly, and like the movie becomes more interesting like halfway through, but up until that point, it is like Jesus Christ, like nothing happens. It's literally just like montages of people driving.
There's so many montages to bad U2 songs of them driving. But at a certain point, I honestly did. I did start enjoying all the stuff with the kids.
Exactly,
Because, I mean, we didn't even mention Fred Savage is the kid. Did we mention that? He's the second lead, essentially.
Yeah. He is like the main character. Like,
we forgot to mention that one of the dads from Freaks and Geeks also plays the stepdad
he's the bad
of
dad.
Mom, the half mom.
Yeah.
He's the bad dad.
Yeah.
Just kind of like in Freaks and Geeks. He's Neil's dad. If you know what that
means. And in Freaks and Geeks, remember he buys...
and then like a Nintendo, right?
I think he buys them an Atari.
Oh yeah,
but like he buys them an Atari to make them like talk about
Devin. That's the Birdo connection.
That's the Birdo connection.
That's the Birdo connection. Birdo connection covered for this episode. That's the Birdo connection.
I'm glad we got that off our checklist,
off our Birdo list. Yeah, and so Fred Savage honestly does a pretty great job in this, I think. For like a little like I mean there's a lot of
him and the main girl are like pretty decent. Like,
they're
good.
definitely good for kid actors. Like they're compelling, like kind of comedic leads or whatever. And then I mean Jimmy, the silent kid is like I don't know, I kind of enjoyed him. That scene where he puts the mustache nose on his face is just brilliant acting. Actually, I enjoyed those parts.
Yeah, and like it's like the parts where the kids have that like kid movie energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like this is like dumb, but it's like kids like having fun.
Yeah.
Anytime it tries to like do anything like emotionally,
for sure.
it's just like
Thankfully, though, it doesn't
so bad.
It doesn't try that much to do that. I feel like not as much as it could.
Yeah.
There is, and there is the scene at the very end where he wins, and it's like 5 consecutive shots of every main character just smiling almost into the camera, like wistfully, and it's so cheesy that I really enjoyed that part too.
Yeah. I mean, the whole end sequence is honestly like really great because it's just like so like over the top and cheesy, and the announcer guy just I imagine his voice sounded like that because they had done a bunch of takes where he's just screaming at the top of his lungs for like over and over again, you know?
Mm-hmm. So at the end of this movie, the kids finally make it, which is the whole goal of the movie, is to this video game contest. And I truly believe that there's 2 actors in particular that were so over the top. I think they got real, like, customer service people working this convention.
Yeah.
Because there's the one, like, ticket guy who's he just has exactly the energy of a wacky ticket guy.
Yeah.
At a kids video game contest.
Let's play a clip of him.
Move it, kid. Hi, we're here to register.
Good.
Yeah, the name is Jimmy Woods.
Jimmy Wood.
What game is it? What game are they playing?
Well, for the prelims, we're playing Ninja Gaiden. Hey!
He knows Ninja Gaiden. We're in. That's great.
You're in. Fantastic. Pin this to his back and hustle it on in there. You're blowing it. You're late. Move it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that guy just has the perfect energy.
There's something that just rings so true about a guy like that working at a convention thing like this.
Yeah,
Like, it makes
100%.
so much sense.
Yeah. The best casting of the whole movie, for sure.
Yeah. But then the announcer
Wow.
guy is like similarly great, where he has that exact same energy, but like times 10 kind of.
Well, it's
He
like
throws a clipboard behind him recklessly at one point. It's
and my favorite thing is he has that weird like like wire tie that he like after
he started taking it off at one point.
like after like I think it's like Lucas after that round like went like is over, or maybe it's after Jimmy, he just like can't contain it anymore, and he just starts like pulling it off and like unbuttons his shirt a little bit.
Unbutton his
I wonder if that was
tie.
scripted or if he was just like, I can't, like,
With that
I'm
guy,
so hot.
With that guy, I honestly feel like probably most of the things he does are not scripted. I don't believe him throwing that clipboard was scripted.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Like, because he says like, we have Lucas, whatever, and then we have whatever the girl's name was.
Nora.
Yeah, Nora. And then we have Jimmy, and he's like, Jimmy! And then like again, when Jimmy finally shows up, he's just like, for some reason yells like player 1, player 2, like he just does it again. It's like it really is like unclear if like he just didn't really know like what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, I think all of the above. Yeah,
the director was just like, okay, just yell their names when they're there. Like, since we mentioned Lucas, we should talk about it where he's introduced, because there's sort of 2 villains or multiple villains. There's the bounty hunter guy who's been hired by his mom to bring him back.
Yeah.
And there is a really weird part at the beginning where they're like, it's like all the family is together, and they're like, okay, we hired this guy to go find him, and he's like, well, they're like, he's gonna look for Jimmy, and then the dad is like, well, is he gonna like bring back my son too, or like, what's his name?
Fred Savage.
Yeah, he's gonna bring back Fred, and he's like, what do they say? They're like basically like no.
Yeah, he's like,
they're like, oh, he wants to run away, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if we bring him back.
I'm bringing back the kid I'm paid to bring back, or something.
Well, no, it's like he wanted to run away, so he's just gonna do it again. But it's like that's literally what Jimmy. Like, that's his whole thing. Is he keeps running away? It doesn't.
I didn't even understand that. That's what he was saying.
I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Yeah.
He does have a great moment though, where it's like the first scene of him like looking for the kids, and he walks into a diner or something, or like a gas station, and he just like holds up a picture of the kid, and he's like, I'm looking for these kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart, I'm looking for some kids.
And he doesn't say anything else.
That's
the whole scene.
Oh, so good.
And he looks like a creep. Is the thing. Like,
yeah, he might be my second favorite character in the movie, or beyond the kids as one character.
Yeah,
because like
Spanky.
Oh, okay. Third favorite. Yeah, because he's truly pretty wacky and fun. He does a good job, I think.
Yeah. Their second kind of antagonist is they run into in another town in Nevada. They run into not Spanky. They run into Lucas. Because at this point it's been established that Jimmy is like
he's the wizard.
He's the wizard.
Yeah.
He's the best.
You're the wizard. That's what she says.
And they're like, and this other kid is like, yeah, maybe you're good, but no one's as good as Lucas. And then it literally like we should have counted how many times it did the like because it does that like anytime Lucas gets brought up.
Yeah, because he's like a cowboy villain.
Yeah,
he's that intense. Just a close-up shot of him, his greasy blonde hair and sunglasses.
Yeah,
That's the first we see of him.
He has like the like feathered like blonde 80s hair and he's always wearing like cool like shirts and stuff. Mm-hmm. This is him playing Ridge Racer with the Power Glove, and he's just apparently done really good.
Jeez.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, just keep your power gloves off her, pal, huh?
That's perfect.
The Power Glove, I do have
of course you do.
Something about that. So part of the whole ROM shortage thing is that because people couldn't make games, companies couldn't make games, they started making like other things that like could plug into the NES.
Yeah, just to sell something.
Yeah, exactly. Just to sell something related to it because people like wanted stuff so badly.
Yeah.
One of those things was obviously the Power Glove, and another one was, have you seen? There's like it's like a big pad. It's sort of like the precursor to like the Dance Dance Revolution, but it's like it was like the whole NES controller. But you had to like literally step on the buttons.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And it was like
that would be so impractical.
Yeah, I'm sure it was horrible, but it's like to like, you know, like get parents who like didn't want their kids to just like sit in front of the TV.
Oh, that makes sense.
For hours, be like now they're like running around. I think the Power Glove came out around the time that this movie came out, I'm guessing.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing was like it had buttons on the side, but you were supposed to like punch and like move your hand around to control.
Oh, okay.
Like you could see in the
he's like
twisting his arm
as if you were holding a steering wheel with one hand. Like, like cool guys do.
The precursor to the Wii, obviously.
Yeah, my thought when he was doing that is like, there's no way it worked that well.
Yeah, and like another way that they like said it was supposed to be used apparently was like with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You're supposed to like actually punch.
Oh, that does sound cool.
But yeah, so like the like quote I have from that book is that the Power Glove, its first Christmas, the Power Glove sold out immediately. Although interest in the product evaporated once kids realized how difficult it was to make it work well.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
In my head though, like that, like the Power Glove was a bigger part of this movie from like what I had like seen from online and stuff.
Seemed like it would be.
It's really only in that one scene.
Yeah. It's like one moment.
I thought Lucas was going to have it at the tournament.
Oh,
and,
that would
be
be
using
sense,
it.
Yeah.
Like that's his like secret weapon.
That clearly would have been unfair, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
it also like would have meant they like thought about this movie.
No, he is.
This guy? I don't get it. Is he like a poster child for someone?
For your information, butthead, he's headed for the video championships in Los Angeles.
Is that right? Well, let's just see how good he is then, guys.
Like we were talking about, probably because of the fact that it had Super Mario Bros. 3 in it is why people went to see it. Yeah. So even though it didn't make that much money, it's still it grossed $14 million in the box office, which not a lot. Obviously, I mean that's not bad though. Like
yeah,
and it clearly did not take that much to make. So I think it made back its money at least. But Roger Ebert called the film a cynical exploitation film with a lot of commercial plugs and insanely overwritten and ineptly filmed. He later called it one of the worst films of 1989. I don't remember even this must have been from IMDb or something, but there was like a thing of how it was translated, like the title to other
to other countries.
So in Germany, this is like the literal translations if you translate it back to English. Joystick Heroes. In Japan, it was called Sweet Road.
That's, accurate. There's a lot of...
Yeah. Italy and Brazil, The Wizard of Video Games. In France, Video Kid. Spain, The Champion of Video Games. In Sweden, Game Boy. One word, so literally like the same. Very weird.
That might be the best of them all.
Yeah, that is like a good name.
In a sense, that's the winner.
And in Finland, Game Over. And in Canadian French, The Child Genius. That one's probably the worst.
Yeah.
Well, Sweet Road is pretty dumb
Sweet
too.
Road, I like Game Boy a lot though.
Yeah, I like Game Boy and I like Video Kid in France.
Yeah, Video Kid.
But that is The Wizard.
Wow.
I hope if you watched it that you do not regret it and that you do not blame us.
Yeah. If you regret it, please just don't put it on us. Put it on Tobey Maguire.
Please don't tweet us at Gameography Pod.
Yeah. Please don't go on Twitter and search at Gameography Pod, and then after you follow us, don't tweet us.
Do not tweet us.
Unless it's positive and nice.
Yeah. We didn't mention Tobey Maguire. Well, but
Tobey Maguire's in this.
As one of, I guess he's one of Lucas's friends.
Yeah, he's one of his goons.
With like a very long, crazy mullet, which is great.
I also
honestly, he should go back to that.
Yeah, it was a good look. It was the best he's looked in years.
Thank you for listening to Gameography. Tim, do you know what we're talking about next week?
I do not. Is it Star Fox?
Yes, we're talking about Star Fox, but probably mostly just the Super Nintendo in general.
Yeah, Devin messaged me a few days ago saying, I just started playing Super Nintendo Star Fox, and I don't think we should make the episode about Star Fox.
There's just not a lot to say. We'll talk about it, but...
yeah, I'm surprised, because it's like 3D. It's crazy. We'll get into it.
No, but that's the thing. I'm sure there's stuff to talk about it as far as like the making of and stuff.
Yeah.
But just like as far as like playing it.
Yeah.
But fire up your Switch virtual, whatever they call it, Super Nintendo, and play some of those games. And we'll probably talk about one of those games if you just pick one of those at random, honestly.
Yeah. I got some stuff to say about F-Zero.
I'm sure you do.
You know I do. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.